Did you know you can only find their gear at Target? It's true. So hurry over.
Love, love, love is all you need.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, or I was just going to say afternoon, and that would have sucked because I'm off on there. So good morning, everybody. I realized that I had mentioned that Brian's interview was going to be at 11 o'clock today, or 10:45, I should say. But for some quirky reason, it would appear that Blog Talk Radio doesn't allow you to schedule in 15-minute increment sessions for interviews. So unfortunately, we had to pump him up a little bit, which is not really unfortunate for me because I've been so excited to want to talk to him for God knows how long that I'm very honored that he has been so patient with me, that he has given me the ample opportunity to prepare myself for his interview. We have so much to talk about within this next hour. He is such an amazing individual. He has accomplished so very much, probably far more than I ever will in my lifetime, professionally and otherwise. So I'm very, very excited to start delving into some of these various ventures. Just to remind everybody, after we get done with Brian at 12:30 Central Standard Time today, we're going to be talking to Amy. Please forgive me, Amy. I want to say Shojai. It's spelled Shojai. Not only is she a best-selling author of over 30 books, but she's also an actual professional pet behaviorist. So for me, oftentimes when I have an individual who deals oftentimes with pets and their behavior mannerisms, very excited to get her on the show. First of all, I have a cat now, so we get to talk about that. And she just has a wealth of experience. And on the flip side, she also happens to be an actor and a musician, which oftentimes does not happen. There's oftentimes a delineating line between your creative sense versus doing something like that. So I'm really excited to expose her to the world and let everybody know of all of her gifts and talents. And then, of course, after that, we're going to have Amy Price on, and that's going to be at 1:30 Central Standard Time. So basically, yeah, we're going to end up having like all sorts of radio fun today, 3 back-to-back shows. I want to just quickly say to everybody before he comes on the line how very grateful and appreciative I am to all of the over 600 people that said, happy birthday, Cindy. I feel so blessed and so loved. I can't even tell you. It was an absolutely wonderful day with my children and some very close friends, and a wonderful date, because if you read my page on Facebook, you already see that I got a kiss to die for. So I'm elated, to say the least. I feel very, very proud, that I had an opportunity to enjoy my special day with you and everyone else. So I'm very excited about that as well. Want to remind everybody that my radio show for next week will be posted up sometime over the weekend once I get a confirmation from a few other guests. I also want to remind everybody, because I was told it is my birthday week, I do get to celebrate for the rest of the weekend. So today's with my children, my beautiful children come home. And so if you want to catch me, I will be at Port Washington Fish Days. And why should you go there? Two of my favorite people in the whole wide world are there, both Marcel Goiten and his son Sam Goiten. Sam is with Generation Z. Marcel, of course, is himself and 15,000 other shows, are going to both be performing at Fish Day. At least one of them, if not both, are going to sing happy birthday to me tomorrow, because I'm going to make them do it. So I'm very, very excited. So definitely make it a point to check them out, both Marcel Goiten and Sam Goiten. That's spelled Guyton. Get out to Fort Washington Fish Day. And obviously, of course, if you follow me enough, you already know that one of my biggest passions is Italian. So therefore, Festa Italiana is this weekend. Sad for me that my stomach's a wreck, so therefore I can't enjoy any of the food that's going to be there, which sucks. So, unfortunately for me, I get to go eat very little, drink very little, but enjoy all the cultures. So if you want to see me, I will be starting out at the Festa Italiana Mass on Sunday, and I'll be there for the duration. And that will be the conclusion of my birthday week, thank God, because at 46, I'm already feeling like I'm 75. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I'm just looking forward to getting through this weekend without having too many fits of nausea, so to speak, actually, unfortunately. And once again, thanks so much to everybody who sent prayers and well wishes for myself and my son. Took the boys in yesterday, and it would appear that they're going to live for another year. Actually, they look like they're in really terrific shape. We're very, very blessed and fortunate. Physicals went very well, unfortunately for Mom. My physical didn't go very well. It looks very well possible. A whole lot of very well this morning, isn't it? Then I might be headed for carpal tunnel surgery. Unfortunately, to those of us in the writing world, we already know that our hands are one of the biggest tools that we possess. So when they start going numb and they're not functioning anymore, if anybody wants to come on my radio show, I'm going to have to learn how to start actually physically taking better care of my hands or using them less. So in this particular case, unfortunately for me, it looks like the only real great method to permanently fix it is surgery. So details to follow on that one as far as that goes. And if you read my wall about 10 minutes ago, you already know I had a raging shit fit about my stomach. Anybody who follows me already knows I just had my gallbladder out a year ago. Things were going along great for 9-10 months, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everything under the sun is making me nauseous. Isn't that wonderful? So I'm like, all right, I'll cut back on the wine, the Italian, the typical bland brat diet, and look what happens. Get a telephone call right before I come on air, and lo and behold, I don't even know what the hell this is. I think they call it some kind of gastric emptying study. So now I'm getting ordered to do that. Now I got to take some more crap. They're going to order some more medication for me, and it just drives. It's very frustrating to every person. I'm sure you can all relate to this. The fact that, you know, at a certain point you become very tired of running in and out of the doctor all the time, and even moreover, it's, oh, we want to order this test. We want to order this test. We want to order this test. I mean, it's above and beyond frustrating for me, and obviously the people around me, because I'm constantly having to run to a doctor. I'm frustrated, obviously, to say the least. And now they're going to have to schedule something like this, which is a 4-hour test. In the meantime, it's kind of like saying to me, oh, look, you're basically screwed. Why? Because you can't eat anything, and until we get test results, we can't tell you anything. And I'm like, that's kind of like telling a mother, your kid's in trouble, and there's absolutely nothing you can do for them. I'm sure you all can imagine that this is beyond frustrating for me. I'm like, I don't even know where to go with this anymore. I'm like, you know, so we have issues with my hands. We have issues with my stomach. I'm like thinking, I just turned 46 2 days ago, and literally every single thing about myself is falling apart. It's immensely frustrating for me, people. But what's a girl to do? I mean, obviously, of course, as we all get older in age, I've tried to take care of myself. It is what it is. I suppose I can't piss and moan for the next week, but I can't piss and moan to you because you have to listen to me, or basically I think you have to listen to me. I'm not 100% sure. Let me give you a little background about Brian, who I'm expecting or anticipating hopefully will be on any time now. His primary purpose, for lack of a better term, is, of course, you'd recognize him most as being an actor. He's done television. He's done actually web television show. He's done actual film. He's working on a film himself, actually, by the name of Guitar Man, which we're going to get into, which has been actually accepted to 11 different film festivals and was a winner at actually one of them. So that's very exciting. He's actually been award accredited as it relates to his work as a writer, which is also very exciting. It's always one of those things that we like to see. You know, give me 2 seconds here because our guest is trying to get a hold of me here. So let's just see if you can go ahead and call into us here, because this is how it works in the Blog Talk radio system. Basically, he has to call into me, and then I accept his call, and then we go from there. Back to explaining about Brian. So yes, not only in addition to being in TV and film and the web show and being an author, he is also a composer. He is also a musician. He's also a father. And one of the things that I find so intriguing about him is that he's an ongoing athlete. He's participated in just a mega amount of different things as it relates to that side of the fence. And he's also done his best to be philanthropic and to make a difference as it relates to the youth of America, which I always find very inspiring. Anybody that takes a creative talent and does something like that is just awe-inspiring to me. So without a doubt, I'm ecstatic about the possibility of talking about something like this as well. So this way you all get a very broad sense. You know, it's very exciting to me just to be able to focus on that alone. We could talk about for 50 minutes or so. But I've always been a huge believer in one of those things where if you have a creative talent or if you have something to offer the world and you give people a platform to listen to you, it's very, very exciting to use those gifts. So without further ado, I see Brian's on the line, so let's get him going. It's Brian
Hello.
Benson. You're alive. Hi.
Hey. Hi, Cindy. How are you?
I never thought this was ever going to happen. I was, like, getting frustrated. I'm like, am I ever going to have this guy on my show? Oh, here you are.
There is a will, there's a way.
Yes, and we finally made it happen despite all of my issues. In fact, I was just ranting to my audience about my new latest medical issue. I'm so over myself. I turned 46 and my body is falling apart. It's disgusting. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It sucks. Okay, so we're going to delve right into you and start talking about you and all these amazing things, because I was just telling my listening audience all these amazing things, and there's so many places to go. So I want to start off with asking about let's start from the beginning, obviously, of course. I know that you were an attendee of Oregon State University. You're originally from Oregon. Obviously, of course, your current residency being in Los Angeles. Talk to us a little bit about, I always believe that the part and parcel of a person comes from their backstory. So talk to us a little bit about two different things. First of all, why did you decide to become an actor? And then second of all, tell us a little bit about the pathway, meaning sometimes actors literally went to school, dropped out, and said, you know what, I'm going to go after this. Some are very, very, very academically trained. Tell us a little bit about that background.
Well, gosh, I've only been acting for a couple of years. I left my family business about 6 years ago, and I was just burnt out. We had a golf center up in Salem, Oregon, and it had like a driving range and a retail store and a 9-hole par 3 course, and I've been running it for 11 years. And I just felt like I was supposed to do something else with my life. And so I just, I had a conversation with my dad. He was understanding, and it took about a year after that conversation to actually leave because we decided to sell it. And it's, the process of listing it and finding a buyer, et cetera. And so I had no idea what I was going to do with the rest of my life. But that tail end of being there at that final year, I wrote a self-help book. It just kind of came through me unexpectedly. And it won a couple of awards, and it kind of pointed me in a whole new direction. And I was I'm an outgoing introvert, but I was kind of shy to be in front of people, and I kind of felt like I would need to learn how to do that. You're having a book. And so I forced myself to take some speech classes, to do Toastmasters for a while. I even co-hosted my own internet radio show. I created a workshop. I did all these things to step out of my comfort zone to learn how to become more comfortable. Well, I'd moved. Well, I'm almost there. I'd moved to Reno then as well to be near my son who lived in Northern California a few miles away. And I then decided to take a beginning acting class because I thought that would be another tool that would help me become more comfortable in front of folks. So I kind of liked it. It was very healing. And I had an idea come to me about a potential short film. And I'd never acted before, but I met this young filmmaker, and I asked him if he wanted to do it. He said sure, and so we did. And it was really an amazing experience. It ended up getting accepted to 11 film festivals, and it just kind of woke me up to this whole other thing. And so I then moved to L.A. 2 years ago. And I've just hit the ground running and have had been a part of some really fun projects and just kind of, just working my way up.
Gotcha. I understand. Now, because you and I are both authors, obviously, one of the things that I always like to ask somebody is this. What sort of fulfillment do you get on the writing side of things, for instance, that doesn't come to you doing an acting performance? Do you see what I'm saying? Obviously, some people derive certain gifts from the written word versus actual performance. So talk to me a little bit about that and how the writing component makes a difference in your life.
Well, for me, the writing kind of came first, but for me, it's just a different way to connect. I'm not a religious person, but I guess I'd call myself spiritual, just to connect with God or the universe or whatever you want to call it. And I don't really even kind of remember much of what I've written. It's just I feel like I'm kind of a conduit. And so it's really always exciting when I'm on a roll and something's coming out that feels good and right. And so that's really, I enjoy that about writing. Plus, it's a way for me to learn about myself. And, most of what I write about are just kind of my experiences because I know we're all very similar. And I'm just kind of trying to learn about myself and help others do the same thing at the same time. And so with acting, though, it's a little different. There's different versions of acting, too. I just got done doing my first play, and that was an amazing experience. And, you're able to really connect and feel for so much longer while you're doing a scene or, you're doing the play compared to, like, film or TV where you just kind of cut, go for another 10 seconds, cut, let's do a different angle, cut. And so there's not the connection, I think, necessarily that you get from doing a play or from writing. But yet it's still creative and it's still exciting and, you can get the adrenaline flowing in it, in a different way.
Oh, yes, I agree with you 100%, actually, because oftentimes I know that I've been thinking about it because somebody asked me to do some short role in something, and I'm thinking to myself, I can feel my heartbeat. I can feel my adrenaline race when I'm writing, you know what I mean? Because that's my thing. So I get real passionate about it, but it's like, I don't know what makes you think I can stand in front of an audience, pretend to be this or this, and all this, and I'm like, oh my God, I just can't see this as far as that goes. That's why I guess I wanted to address that, because writing means different things to different people, obviously. It's a different means. And the sense that I get from reading everything about you and researching you and looking on your page, one of the things that crossed my mind was I said to myself, you tend to run on the spiritual side in terms of inspirational, motivational, keeping your personal mantra being of positivity and good energy and all that good stuff. So I find it intriguing that one of the areas that you went into is acting, because one of the actors just the other day reminded me again, he's like, do you have any idea how draining this is? He's like, I love it. But he's like, do you know how many auditions you go on? You're getting turned down all the time. So I find it an interesting paradox. So why is Brian Benson, Johnny Positive over here, is running to this occupation like, yeah, turn me down? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm like, doesn't that seem a little contradictory to you?
Well, it's, however, I just, for me, I just love the creative part of it, and it just fills me up. But I want to put positive stuff out there, whether it's a book, whether it's a film short, whether it's a TED Talk, whatever. But so, I've learned so much about myself, and I've being here the last 2 years and having to learn how to deal with, being turned down, and most of the time it has nothing to do with maybe even our audition. It's just usually maybe the look that you have that isn't quite what they want or whatever. But it's really taught me how to, and I'm someone that's kind of probably had a bit of a low self-esteem coming out here. As crazy as that sounds, we all kind of have probably different things that we're working on, and some of them are in the self-worthiness mode, and, I'm no different. So it's, I've had some highs and lows, believe me, but the more that I do it, it's kind of enabled me to grow and kind of get over that and realize that, hey, I'm fine just the way that I am, and it doesn't matter if I get this job or that job or what have you. I'm going to draw in the projects that I want to draw in and the people that I'm meant to draw in, by maintaining kind of a higher energy vibration, if you want to call it that. And so it's been a really, really amazing opportunity to learn and grow and lots of lessons.
Oh, certainly. Speaking on the lesson side of things, I wanted you to talk a little bit about that, because I've noticed just in watching you, of course, that you regularly participate, or it would seem that you participate in taking ongoing furthering your acting lessons, meaning participating in workshops and things of that nature to enhance your craft. So talk to the people that are listening that might be endeavoring in or currently are in the same profession as yourself. Tell us what in your opinion, what is the strongest benefit by continuing on doing workshops and things of this nature from an acting standpoint?
Well, there's so many different ways to kind of, I think, go at acting, or you know what I mean? Just different thoughts and theories and philosophies, and not all of them are going to work for you. So for me, since I'm a little different maybe than some folks who've been doing it for a while, since I was so fairly new to it. I hit the ground running, and I started a scene study class with an amazing teacher named Elizabeth Gamza here in town, and she helped me just get comfortable up there, but also be comfortable in my own skin. And she was really very intuitive, and it's like I was getting two lessons at once. One for acting, one for just being me and learning about Brian and being able to share Brian and not being afraid to share Brian and all parts of him. You know what I mean? And so I think that everybody should take an acting class. Even if you're not an actor, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to have some fun. And it's just going to give you a different perspective on life. So for me, I just, I've tried variety of different things. Some worked, some didn't here in town as far as classes go, but I just stick with the ones that feel intuitively right to me and where I feel like I am able to step out of my comfort zone and I am able to bring something new to the plate. It's ongoing, yeah.
Oh, of course. Now, and I want to flip gears a little bit because I always find it so interesting when you have an actor who does, I act, but then I do 57 other things, which is the case with Brian, of course. So talk to me about integration into music, how you became a musician, and when obviously musician's a very broad term. So talk to us a little bit about typically what you play, or do you vocalize? Do you do both? And then, of course, obviously, I see that you acted as composers. So you obviously compose music as well. So talk to me about you as a musician, period. What do you do? How did you get into it? And how does it play a role in your life?
Sure. No, that's a great question. And it's funny. I don't think of myself as a musician. I'm self-taught, and I've just kind of probably been messing around on the guitar since I was in high school. And my kind of favorite genre to play is kind of the old Delta blues, the old stuff, kind of pre-electric amps. It was kind of, played in the 20s, 30s, and 40s down south. And, in my Guitar Man, my little short film very first thing I ever did that I just was briefly talking about, I was a closet guitarist. I'd never played in front of anybody before I did that short. And so it was really empowering for me not only to act in it and write the story, but also to play guitar on it. I played kind of a street guitarist. So the whole guitar thing for me, it's kind of down on my list of things that I'm doing, but yet I continue to kind of branch out with it. I did an open mic, probably 6 months ago, did a few songs, and that was terrifying, but it was fun. And actually in this play that I just did, it was set in 1930, and I played a little guitar and harmonica in it. And so that was kind of fun. So, I kind of feel like I don't want to mislead people. I'm not a musician like some musicians are, if that makes sense. It's been kind of a hobby for me, and it's kind of a form of meditation. So, but I'm able to kind of incorporate it into some of my projects.
Nice. Yeah. Very, very nice. Because I know some people oftentimes will talk about music just being a very good spiritual release for them, even if you don't play, but just sitting and listening to certain kinds of music. Or music can oftentimes make or break a performance. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know exactly what I mean. And I think that music can be very powerful. So hence, another great component of you, even though you may not be a master musician, so to speak, it's just another talent that you've mastered. Without, for lack of a better term, which is on, the list of things, obviously. I want to talk about the next component because, yes, there's more, folks. The list gets bigger and bigger here. I find it interesting that people may not know this, of course, but you are an athlete. I know that you've participated in, this is amazing, folks, 50-plus triathlons. You had orchestrated that, I know, the bicycle ride, which we're going to talk about, from Seattle to Washington, because you're a big believer in passing along your gifts and helping to mentor youth as well. So I want to talk about that side of you. First off, that athletic part, the athlete. Yeah. How did that come into play? When did that start? Was that from young on?
Yeah, my dad was a pretty good athlete, and I just kind of grew up playing all the different sports through school, and I was taught how to play golf at a very young age, and played some competitive golf, but the whole triathlon thing didn't really kick in until I was in college. In high school it was just baseball, basketball, and golf, but I injured my knee. My kneecap got knocked out of place playing mud football in college, and I had to rehab it, and I started kind of getting into shape, and I had a couple buddies who had done a short triathlon, and that just kind of intrigued me and piqued my interest to maybe set that as a goal once I got my knee healed. And so I did one, and this is like way back in 1987 when it was still a really new sport and just kind of catching on in some ways. And so I did it, and it just really, really was a blast. It kind of empowered me, and I ended up doing 4 more that summer, and it was on. The next year I did 10, and then the third year I did my first Ironman, and in addition to some other races, and it just, I don't know, I just kind of, looking back, it feels like a whole different, it's like a whole different lifetime ago, but it just was a really nice thing for me to do at a young age that kind of helped build my foundation, so to speak, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I could do anything that I put my mind to after I did my first Ironman, and so really, really exciting. It was fun. I traveled around and saw some neat different parts of the country and just had some fun experiences. While beating myself into the ground.
Yeah, that's just it. And you know what? Sometimes physicality can be a great And that's another thing, a great empowering thing. Sometimes, you know, if you're physically active, if you involve yourself and participate in things like that, it's a rush. It's really an adrenaline rush. I always feel better after I run, after I get physically involved with things and such. So I think that to be, you know, it's a very therapeutic experience for individuals, period. You know what I mean? Even if you're not running a triathlon, I do. I think it's important, obviously. On the flip side, as I started to mention, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, looking back, it's kind of interesting because, I mean, I'm a meditator now. But looking back, you know, there's so many different ways we can kind of get quiet with ourselves. And a lot of those long bike rides and long runs I went on during training were exactly that, just kind of a different form of meditating. And you know, I was just kind of, I don't know, it was very healing in and of itself. Not just the physical part, but the inside part. Yeah.
Gotcha. And speaking of healing, obviously, like I started to mention, I know in the past that you've served and operated as a mentor to some of our youth or younger individuals. Tell me why that's a priority for you to participate in doing something like that, and what did you gain from that experience?
Well, that's a great question.
Thank you.
I did a lot of that. I haven't thought about this for a while. Before I took over the family business, I worked for a couple of years at a boys treatment ranch in Northern California, and most of the kids there were wards of the state. They'd come from really tough backgrounds, you know, and most of them had been abused one way or another, and it was a tough place to work. You know, you really wanted to help these guys, but a lot of them were pretty damaged, unfortunately, and it was a rough place to work. There was a lot of fights, and we had to break up a lot of fights, and were verbally and physically abused, and but working there, it felt, I learned a lot about compassion and working with others, and probably try not to be judgmental, and so after I left there, I moved to Salem to take over the family business at the golf center, and I just went and volunteered at the local kids. They had a kids penitentiary, and so I did that for a couple of years, and it was really, in some ways, a different experience than the one at the boys treatment ranch, because I didn't have to really deal with any of the discipline. I just went there and hung out and got to know the guys, and just kind of, you know what I mean, just be a friend. Sure. And instead of the other. And so I really, really enjoyed that, and you know, I'm so glad that I took that on. You know, I would go there weekly, and just yeah.
It's heart work, basically. That's what I call it, heart work. HEART, heart work, not hard work, heart work. There's a difference to that, and I wish more people would do a little more heart work, but we could do a whole show on that. That's a whole other thing. You betcha. So I want to talk about, so let's tell everybody what Brian Benson is. So we're going to go project by project here to do a breakdown so individuals understand everything that you have going on. And you guys are just not going to believe this, because my jaw drops when I look at the bulk of work he's accomplished. And one day when I grow up, I'm going to be as accomplished as Brian Benson.
No.
First of all, let's talk a little bit about, I want to name off these four, just so individuals, to those that are listening, on the author side of things, because Brian, of course, has talked about having written different books. So let me talk to you a little bit about this. Everybody that's listening in, we have Finding Your Voice, The Art of Balance, Brian's List, which is 26 and a half easy-to-use ideas on how to live a fun, balanced, healthy life, and discover your true greatness. And just to let you guys know, these aren't just books on the shelf that idly sit. Why? Because it was these winner of 2009 Next Generation Indie Book Award, and, of course, an award-winning finalist for the 2013 USA Book News and Indie Excellence Book Awards. So a couple questions relative to the book side of things. Obviously, in just listening to this, Discover Your True Greatness and the Art of Balance, it almost sounds as though the author himself is not only seeking for his audience to find balance and greatness, but for himself is one of the things I was thinking about. So just talk to me about the main inspiration and motivation behind these books, and tell me what your audience has gained by reading your books or actually being a follower of your written works.
Well, thank you. You know, the very first one was Brian's List. Yeah, the 26 and a half easy-to-use ideas book. And that's the one that kind of came through me at the very end of being at the family business. And I was really struggling at the tail end there. I still wanted to begin the rest of my life, even though I didn't know what it was. And I was just ready to hit the road. And I found myself really out of balance. And so I just kind of intuitively felt like maybe I was just sit my butt down and try to come up with a handful of things that would help keep me grounded while I was still there. So I just came up with 5 simple things to stay in balance. And here's my little beginning of the list. One was just make sure that I was getting some daily exercise. Another one was make sure that I was drinking enough water. Another was make sure that I was getting enough sleep. The fourth one was make sure that I am allowing myself to have some quiet time every day, because I'm kind of an introvert, and that's how I regenerate. And finally, the last one was make sure that I allowed myself to be creative every day. And at that time, it was just messing around on my guitar. So that's what I did. I just did those 5 things every day, and it really helped me get through the tail end of that. But I then kind of felt like maybe I was supposed to expand the list and write a book. And I had never written a book before, but I just did. I wrote the book in 30 days. And I self-published. I know, I self-published it, and that was before Create Space on Amazon. So I found an editor, I found a layout person, I found a printer, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just ordered 2,000 copies. And I mean, now it's so much easier because you can just, order as you want through the print on demand programs. So, I just did that. And that's kind of how my first book happened. And that just kind of pointed me in the direction that I've kind of intuitively just followed the last 5 years. I really am not sure where I'm headed, but I just feel like this kind of sounds funny, but when I was 3, I told my mom that I was put here to inspire people. And so I just, my whole thing is just to try to be the best version of myself that I can be, and to maybe share the journey of working toward that in hopes that it might help other people do the same thing. I don't really ever tell anybody what to do. I just kind of try and share what's worked for me, and try to share my highs and lows, and to let everybody else know that, that they're not alone, and that we all have our stuff, but yet we can still move forward.
And I have to tell you that you're doing in the right direction, or stepping in the right direction, I should say, in terms of feeling inspiring and motivating, because you are doing just that, obviously. Your life is a testament to that, in part, just by looking at some of the ways that you utilize this positive energy and this hope and this mantra that you live by, and you use it constructively. And that's very, very important nowadays, because that's a dying breed. I'm not going to lie. I know a million wonderful people, but it's not every day that everybody takes their talents and says, I'm going to use this for good. So kudos to you on the book side of things. But now I'm going to switch gears again, because we like to do that on this show. We like to flip-flop so that we get a nice introspective view. Let's talk a little bit about Guitar Man. Obviously, of course, that's written by you. You composed for that. You've directed that, produced that, been accepted to 11 film festivals, winner at the Love Unlimited Film and Art Festival. So 3 different things here. Talk to your audience about what Guitar Man is. Second of all, if I were to ask you what life is like acting as the director versus being instructed what to do, because this time you're telling other people what to do and you're the big boss. So talked about the dynamic between both of those. And then third of all, is there some sort of, how, I'm trying to put this the right way, accepted to 11 film festivals, was that something that you were hoping or expecting? Or what is it that you think that your film has that generates all this buzz in all these different various places?
Well, you might have to remind me of a couple of the questions, but I'll start off by basically saying, I did not know what I was doing when it happened. I'd never acted before. I'd never really done a short film before, and the guy who helped me, Michael Sweeney, was a young filmmaker with a really good eye and a really fantastic editor, and we edited it together. But we just went downtown, and downtown Reno, I had the idea of what I wanted to have happen, and it's kind of a narrative. There's not really dialogue. I narrate over it, and we just incorporated a lot of the folks that we found on the streets. And there's a lot of positive messages in there, and I was really working on the book side of things, and I had no intentions of really becoming an actor. So I tried to kind of make it almost like a little bit of a self-help kind of book in a movie, if that makes sense. And so I didn't really know what was what it was going to turn out like, but it's kind of unique in its own way. It's only 8 minutes, and it's on my website. Anybody can go and watch it. But I'm really, really proud of it looking back. I mean, it's raw, but it was just an empowering experience in so many different ways. And as far as being the director, I mean, I kind of let Michael kind of help me with that, because I didn't really know what to do. I just was kind of the idea guy and brought the passion to it. And I actually have another short that's coming out probably within a couple of months. We're basically done with it. It's just getting some final color correcting. It's called Searching for Happiness. Now, that one, I had a lot more input, and I co-directed it with a really fine young filmmaker here in town. His name is Nye Green. And so, I had more experience going into this one, the latest one. But the first one was just following my passion. And it just, I think when we do that, no matter what it is, it just, if there's a will, there's a way. It finds a home. It lands. And so, it's been fun. I get emails from people all over the place that it's still getting passed around out there in YouTube land, which kind of surprises me. And it's but it's rewarding when I get an email from somebody saying, that it made them feel good or it inspired them or what have you.
Sure. Oh, definitely. And I don't think that you covered this, or I was going to say, can you give us a brief synopsis in terms of what is Guitar Man? I was going to say, just get them excited in terms of what's the story all about.
Well, basically, it's just I play a street guitarist who, kind of just, we show a bunch of different scenes of me kind of playing throughout the city and interacting with some of the other folks on the streets that are panhandling. And just kind of maybe speak about it from the view of a person trying to make some money on the streets. But I also, there's a guitar in this pawn shop that actually was mine at the time. I don't have it anymore. It was an 80-year-old resonator guitar built in the 30s. It's a beautiful thing that I was kind of trying to raise some money to purchase because that's the guitar. I really wanted to play that. And I end up at the very end walking by somebody who's kind of struggling, kind of tucked up in a corner somewhere in an alley, and I end up giving him my money. But then we kind of flash forward to the future, and then I have myself playing that guitar kind of in a little kind of amphitheater type setting. And so, it's I don't know if that helps with the description. It's really very unique. It does. Some folks think it's a documentary. I mean, it's kind of a unique little 8-minute film.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt whatsoever. Certainly. That's why we want to talk about it, because I'm like, a lot of times if people don't listen in on the show, they have no ideas that these creative shorts come out and what they're about. And obviously, of course, it says something. I think independent film as a whole, and most people know this about me, I support any form of independent art, period, because it's important to support the individuals who take enough passion and drive and make it into something. Okay, we're going to flip again. So now we're going to talk a little bit about web TV show, The Goods. People might not know that web television is the wave of the future. I know that people don't believe me, but it's true. So talk to folks about The Goods. How'd you get involved in web television, and can they check it out, and what's it all about? What is The Goods?
The Goods is still in development. We filmed, probably a month, 2 months ago. We filmed a bunch of footage, and they're still putting the pilot together. So that's really all I can say about that. Other than the fact, it's still in the works. However, it's a wonderful concept. The producer wanted to put a show on where we focus on positive news and we focus on good things happening in the world and in our community. And so, we're gonna go out there and just do that. And we're going to have some in-studio guests. So we're going to have some, on-the-spot type reporting and stuff as well. And so it's still being developed. I hope that, that it gets out there, but we're still working on that. Thank you for asking, though.
Of course. Speaking of development.
What's that?
I was just going to say, speaking of development, because you brought up development, let's talk a little bit about TV show that was in development, having their first screening on July 30th. That would be I'm going to screw this up probably, Sangre Negra. Did I say that correctly?
I think it's pronounced Sangre Negra, and it means black blood.
See, I knew I'd get it wrong.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to teach you.
I screwed it up.
No,
exactly. It's hard. It's tough to do that. Yes. And its first screening is on July 30th. So a couple questions there. First of all, is it a private screening? Is it a public screening? This is a television show, obviously, so we want to know the premise of that, and we also want to know your role in it and how you got involved.
This is a funny story. It's kind of a teaser screener. I think the show itself will start airing, I'm not sure, September, October, in the fall sometime. But they're going to show this. Yeah, they're going to show the pilot episode at the Henry Fonda Theater in L.A. It'll be a lot of fun. It's
cool.
It's basically the stories about two crime families in the city of L.A. One is Hispanic, the other is Italian. The Hispanic family is led by Eric Estrada, formerly of Chips.
Ooh,
fame. And Robert Miano, who's been in a lot of films and TV, is the head of the Italian family, and Eric Roberts is in it. He plays a politician, kind of a sleazy politician. I understand that they just brought, I'm not sure, S.A. Morales, who's been in a lot of films and TV. He's currently on The Brink, which is on HBO. I think he's going to have a part. And so it's a lot of fun. And I'm not part of either of the crime families. I kind of have an interesting part. I play a family man who, and it's such a 180 from what I'm doing in my real life, but who has a penchant for prostitutes. And I roughed up, I believe, one of the crime family's gals. I mean, this is horrible because I didn't even. They're gonna keep me around for, I think, maybe a handful of episodes where I kind of have this ultimatum to kind of, make good on what I did wrong, or they're gonna involve my daughter or something. I mean, it's even hard for me to talk about it because I'm.
We don't have to talk about it.
No. I mean, it's acting, but yet still, it's fun. When I filmed, what I've filmed so far, the whole crew and cast is just like one big family. There was people that weren't even filming on the day that I was there, and they just to watch and hang out. I mean, everybody was so kind. And here's the crazy thing. I got this because I became friends with the director-producer at the Coffee Bean I take my laptop to all the time. I never really knew what I did. I said, hey, one day I said, Frank, what do you do? And he told me, and he asked me, and I told him the same thing, and he kind of looks at me. He goes, what are you doing next weekend? And I jokingly said, whatever you want me to. And then he goes, well, I think I have a part for you. And he's one of those that kind of sometimes casts people intuitively without auditioning them. And he told me the part, and I kind of cringed because I kind of told him what I did in my life. And he goes, just watch the trailer. I went home and watched the trailer. It was filmed beautifully. It's kind of shot in a bit of a telenovela style. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And it was just an amazing experience, and I can't wait to go back and do more.
Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm actually in process of working on getting Eric Roberts on the show, so I'm really excited about that, actually. Don McKenna and I are working on that, so I'm really excited about that one. Okay, we're going to flip again, so that's that TV show. Speaking of progress and things in the works, talk to us about TEDx Talk. TEDx Talk is coming, according to the website. It just says, it's coming.
Yes,
so
it is.
Tell the folks about TEDx Talk.
Yeah. It was an amazing experience that was scary, but it was awesome. It was May 30th. It was in Pasadena. And I'm still waiting to get the video. I think it should be coming out any time. As soon as it does, I will share it. Yeah. So I don't have the video to share with people yet, but it did happen. And basically, the theme of the program was, what was it? Gosh. Something, oh my God, thrive, transcend, and something. But no, I know, I can't even, I know the name of my talk. I don't remember the name of the theme of the program. But my talk, Be Yourself, my talk was called Be Yourself to Free Yourself, with a little subtitle of How to Find Your Personal Freedom. And basically my talk was about the last 6 years of my journey. And I had 5 major points of things that I kind of learned and utilized along that journey, and I kind of just chronologically shared my story through those points and of emphasis, and that they were, the first one was listen to your intuition and be open to whatever comes your way. Number 2 was step out of your comfort zone. Number 3 was stay in life balance. Number 4 was have fun and enjoy the ride. And number 5 was there are no rules, expect the unexpected. And so I was really, really happy with what I came up with and how it went, I felt. So I'm excited to see it.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And so are we, obviously, which is why I brought that up. Now, we want to talk about the more current things. We're going to flip over to the film side of things, obviously. There's just 3 different projects that I wanted to bring up to light here. First of all, wanted to find out, because I thought I had heard the Miracle Archives. Is that the project in which is coming spring 2015? Because I'm thinking that's right around the time now where it would be out already.
The Miracle Archives was a film that I acted in. It is, I'm not sure where it's being released. It's a short that's about 20 minutes long that I was cast in. I actually played 2 parts. I played a part of a reporter and a reporter, and I also played the voiceover of the main character's father.
Got it.
It got accepted to the Cannes Film Festival in the shorts category, and so that was really, really exciting for myself, but more so I was really happy for the director, Victor Olea, who's very talented. But
nice.
It was a really wonderful little 20-minute film. Wonderful film.
Okay, and we'll get more details on that when we can find that, or where to find it, I should say. No More Mr. Nice Guy. Give us the who, what, when, where on that one, and is it out right now? Because I would say that's another 2015 project, correct?
Yeah, I had a small part in that. I played the role of a tailor, and I don't know when they're going to release that. I did that probably about 6 weeks ago, maybe, and I think they were wrapping filming at the end of that week. So, I don't know how long the process is, but that I'm looking forward to seeing that too. Now, one's a feature. That one's a feature.
Okay, I've got you. That's what I thought. Okay, and then that leaves us with our third project, which is, of course, Searching for Happiness. We want to hear about Searching for Happiness, the premise behind that, your role in it. And moreover, is it currently out?
No. It's the one it's my film that I wrote and acted in.
That's right. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got confused there for a moment.
No, it's okay. Really excited about it. It's unique. I wrote it probably 3 years ago. It's about a 7 or 8 minute film. It's without spoiling too much, it's black and white, and there's not really any dialogue, but yet it's really pretty cool. The main character, myself, is not happy. He's even reading a book called Searching for Happiness. And he witnesses random acts of kindness throughout the different scenes, and after they happen, the people that are involved colorize. And so there's a lot of special effects in this, and it took the guy who did that a lot of hours. And so everything else stays black and white, but the people involved become colorized till the very end, where I end up accidentally kind of doing something for someone, and I kind of finally get it. And, it's kind of a happy ending and such. But the score is amazing. I've found a really talented young man who's in the USC Film School TV and Scoring Masters program to do it for me, and I can't wait to share it. And I'll throw that.
That's going to be absolutely wonderful.
I'm going to put it online. What's that?
I mean, it sounds so exciting because, I, of course, am a closet freak when it comes to black and white film, let alone black and white with no dialogue. It's very exciting to me. Like The Artist, when it came out, I was like, oh, my God, this is awesome. Yes. So hearing about a project like this, these are few and far between. I mean, it's just, it is. Yeah. It's few and far between that people do things like this. So I think that's absolutely amazing.
Thanks. It's kind of a cross between a silent film from the 20s and like maybe a French arty kind of something. So,
there you go. Exactly. You captured that very well. There you go.
I'm happy.
So I only have 2 more questions for you because it's been like almost an hour already. Can you believe this time went so fast? This is like amazing, isn't it? It's not. Absolutely crazy. almost makes us want to do another show in like a couple months. Yeah, that's what I say. Like when all the projects come out, he'll come back on again and be like, let's talk about all those projects. Hell yeah. Last two questions for you. First off, because most that are listening in may or may not know this, but of course you are a father as well. So just talk to me a bit about how your son, looking back as he stands there really and looks at all of your accomplishments and such, and what does that mean to him? And moreover, is he going to follow in Dad's footsteps?
Well, that's a great question. He's 21 now, and I'm really proud of him. It was not the most ideal situation for him growing up. His mother and I were divorced after a year and a half, and so I was not around him but maybe 5 or 6 times a year until he was 14 when I moved back down to be near him as I was reinventing myself, those 4 years of his in high school. But he's an amazing kid. He's very creative in his own way, and he's already kind of a professional videographer and photographer and doing really well in that field. Cool. And so, it's really it's awesome seeing what he's done, and I think his website is solportraits.com, and don't let the portraits thing fool you. It's not just a bunch of there's a lot of amazing videos up there, and he lives up in the Tahoe area, so he does a lot of action photography as well for snowboarding professionals and skiers and you name it. And so he's got a lot of great stuff going on.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, we just have 2 more things to tidy up before you can get on to your Friday, because I only have 17 more people on my show today. It's insane.
I know.
You have a birthday, and it pushes. I mean, literally, I had a birthday week, and so I'm like, I'll be smart. I'll just push everything. Yeah, that was real smart. I literally have pushed 3 shows in one day, so I'm a little chaotic today, and I got a lot of crap to do, but this is the best. I saved I brought the best one on first, and I'm not lying there, folks. So I want to list these off to you. You let me know if I forget anything. And then we have 2 quick things to finish, and you're all set. Just let everybody know, Brian Benson can be found the following ways. He has a personal Facebook page, which is, of course, Brian, and Benson is spelled Benson. He also has an actual actor page, which is the letter G, Brian Benson. Website, www.gbrianbenson.com. He has an IMDb profile. He can be found on LinkedIn, YouTube. His Twitter handle is @GBrianBenson, and of course his works, can be found on Amazon and Kindle. Have I missed anything?
No, that's awesome. Yeah, everything I do professionally is listed as G, the letter G, period, Brian Benson.
Right.
So if I can Google that and find it. And, I go by my middle name.
You betcha. Okay. So there's only 2 quick things that we have to finish up here. One is a question, and then the second, Okay. The last thing I do is, if you ever listen to my show before, I'm going to tell you what I think of you. That's the very last 2 minutes of the show. But before I do that, I didn't want to forget to ask about one very pertinent thing, because one of the things that you do that I like so much is supporting fellow friends and actors. So I was just curious if you have an update on your friend Kelly Copel's situation, because she, of course, has a terminal brain tumor. So I'm just curious to see how she's doing.
That's really sweet. Yeah, thank you. I actually saw her about a week and a half ago, and she's doing really well. She's been just really focusing on her getting healthy and doing a lot of essential oils and a lot of healing and stuff. They're not sure when they're going to do the surgery. She's not even sure if she wants them to do it. She's kind of, you know what I mean? It's in a tough spot where it's just kind of like a crapshoot, and she doesn't know if she wants to risk that. If and just live out in as healthy a way as she can. So she's an amazing person. She's actually in my new film, Searching for Happiness. She has a role in there, and we filmed that last fall. And so I'm definitely sending her lots of love and positive thoughts, and thank you for asking.
Well, obviously, one of the main things on this show is yes, I'm in radio, but I try to be very compassionate. It always moves me when I see fellow individuals supporting one another. Again, sometimes that's a dying breed, so we'll send our prayers and our thoughts to Kelly, of course, and I'm asking everyone else who's listening to do so as well, because I can only imagine what that plight is like, and it's, I'm sure, very heartbreaking. So now we're down to the last 5 minutes here. So I'm going to tell you what I think of you and then kick you off my show so I can prepare for show 2, followed by show 3, and try to fit lunch in here somewhere. So, folks, the reason I do this is primarily not so much because Brian doesn't already know what I think, but he'll find out what I think of him. But moreover, my impressions are to go to you so that you know before you start delving into his actual career what type of person and individual he is. So, Brian Benson, these are my thoughts of you in closing. Just to let everybody know, I actually found Brian through mutual friends, which is what I tend to do after being in radio for 3 years. You accumulate a lot of friends in the business, so I know a lot of actors. You and I have a couple of different mutual friends, Will Lopez being one of them. Friend of the show, absolutely love him. And so I found him through mutual friends, and we started, definitely. We started chit-chatting, and right off the bat, one of the first things I noticed about him is kindness and heart. That's not something that you see every day in this industry, and as it relates to actors as a whole, oftentimes you can find some to be somewhat more self-induced or more self-indulgent, so to speak. And Brian, nowhere in any manner, shape, or form fits that profile. He is the modicum of kindness when it comes to his personal life, when it comes to his professional life. He's very giving on screen of performance in terms of giving every part of himself, not only to his audience, but to the actors that are around him, which I find very refreshing. He uses his words, any kind of words, prose-wise, to make sure to inspire, to motivate, to encourage, and to bring the best out in every human being that he encounters. Again, that's a remarkable quality that not all individuals have or possess, and that's something that's also very respectable about him. On the flip side of the fence, I saw some of his pictures and some of his postings as it relates to his son. So obviously it goes without saying that his heart extends to his family, to his friends, to the things that he finds most passionate about. I admire the fact that he takes on these short challenges in terms of films and shows and radio shows, and he delves into every creative form that there is because he wants to take a part of his heart and enlighten the rest of the world by his knowledge and the beauty that he possesses within himself. To me, there is no better definition of an artist than that. So to you, my friend, I say this much. Thank you for supporting me as a person. Thank you for supporting me professionally. If you don't come back to my show, I will kick your ass. And if you don't show up, I'll come to LA and I will interview you in person. And I just want to say I'm so sorry for it taking so long, and I appreciate your patience, and I do hope that I did you justice today.
Oh, my God. No, Cindy, first of all, thank you for the very kind words. I'm really taken aback.
Welcome.
I appreciate that. And
you're welcome.
Yeah, you're awesome, and I enjoyed the interview. I mean, I love your questions. No, I mean you definitely do your work and your research, and yeah, it's a wonderful experience, and I'd love to come back. Yeah.
Yay! I love it.
So, thank you.
I like it. Anytime anybody says yes or maybe, I'm like all excited. So wonderful, definitely. And do keep me posted. Please let me know what's happening with the films and other such so I can post it up so everybody else can be a follower of yours as well. And just to let you know, of course, this episode will become archived within about a half an hour. So that this way then everybody can go back and listen to it, and I certainly will repost it for you as well. Yep, and you're all set and good to go. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, dear.
You too, and I have something for you.
What's that?
I hope everything goes well for you with what's going on, and I just want you to make sure that you take care of you, and because I know you like to take care of others, so just don't forget to take care of you.
Thank you. That's wonderful advice. I will take that to heart this weekend, my dear, and good luck. And like I said, keep me posted on everything, please.
I will. We'll talk to you later. Thank you so much.
All right, honey. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Was he just not wonderful? That's the amazing author/actor/humanitarian/athlete Brian Benson. One more reminder to everybody, his written works can be found on Amazon or Kindle or his website, www.gbrianbenson.com. He has an actor profile on IMDb. He can also be found on YouTube, LinkedIn. You can connect with him on Twitter at @GBrianBenson. And as far as Facebook, he has a personal page and, of course, the actor page, which is G. Brian Benson. Thank you so much once again, Brian, for all of your patience, all your understanding, and all of your support and encouragement. Want to remind everybody at 12:30 Central Standard Time, 1 hour from now, we're hosting Amy Shoju, Shojai, and she, of course, is a pet behaviorist and a best-selling author. So do join us within the hour. I look forward to talking to Amy soon. Take care, everybody, and thank you for listening.
Did you know you can only find their gear at Target? It's true. So hurry over.
Is love, love, love is all you need. All you need is love.
The Beat Bugs rock. Did you know you can only find their gear at Target? It's true. So hurry over.
Is love, love, love is all you need.